Good morning, students, and welcome back to another episode of Armor Class. My name is Derek, and I will be your headmaster. Last week, you met Eliana Vixen in Armor Class Legacy, and this week, you'll be meeting Rendouin Locke, son of a Jeff Bezos type rich boy half-elf angsty teen. But before we get into the episode, a couple announcements. This episode was recorded at the same time as Eliana's episode, and therefore has a lot of the same artifacts and background noise. I tried to cut out as much as possible, but again, some of that does stay in there for content reasons. I do apologize in advance and hope to not have the issue again in the future. A couple of our listeners and fans of the podcast have suggested that we plug our Patreon in the intro instead of the outro. So, if you're enjoying the podcast, consider checking out our Patreon. For just $5 a month, you get official episode releases 7 days before they go public. You get exclusive access to unedited versions of the episodes, starting with episode 5, as well as exclusive Patreon-only episodes and bonus content. You'll have exclusive access to the private members-only channels on our Discord, and you'll be invited to participate in any live event that we hold. For $10 a month, you'll have access to all Armor Class resource materials. So if you run your own game or play D&D and would like to run your own Armor Class campaign, or if you would just like to follow along with the podcast and view the character sheets of the characters that you're hearing about in the episode, you will have access to every bit of the resource materials that we've made for Armor Class School of Martial and Magical Arts. And if you're really interested in following along for $15 a month, we offer all of that and a personal shout out on every episode of the podcast. So that's our Patreon. And if you're interested in participating, the link is available in our link tree. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast on your podcasting platform of choice, and give us a follow on TikTok and Instagram. Now that's it for today's announcement, so please turn in your books to Introduction 4. Without further ado, we will get into the episode. We hope you enjoy.
We're on a journey to discover what we're made of in a world that we don't know. Humble beginnings to the grandest of adventures to show. The future is calling our names, and we will cross that horizon into brighter days. We will stand in the face of defeat, so we can rise up above the mistakes that we've made, to believe in the good that we see. As the world keeps on turning and the winds of change blow, we'll rely on the friends that we've made. As new evils arise, we will defend our homes from the perils that stand in our way.
All right, so for today's episode, we are here with Emily and Colin, and we have the rest of our cast and friends of the podcast here in the studio with us, sitting in. But we've got Emily and Colin on the microphones. We just completed Emily's solo episode for Eliana, and now we are getting into Rendouin's episode.
The Rendouin Locke Hour.
The Rendouin Locke Hour. Rendouin Locke Hour.
Yeah.
All right. So, Emily, can you go ahead and introduce us to you and your character?
My name is Emily, and my character is Eliana Vixen.
Fantastic. You know, if you've been listening to the podcast, you just heard her episode last time. And today we are focusing on Colin. Can you introduce us to you and your character today?
Hello, I'm Colin, and I play Rendouin Locke.
All right. Can you tell us a little bit about Rendouin Locke?
Sure. He is a half-elf, son of a, sort of like a Jeff Bezos. Son of a bitch. No, he's sort of a, son of a Jeff Bezos type, trading mogul, very, very new money wealthy. So he's very cut off from the real world. A little bit of a spoiled rich kid, with a butler named Mr. Pimbleton, who we'll meet.
Mr. Pimbleton. Great. All right, fantastic. So, Rendouin, as the sun streams through your golden curtains, stretching across your floor, you open your eyes to your large 4-poster bed with drapings going across the top and intricate carvings. You see the dark teal walls of your room and the accentuated decor and molding across your ceiling. You feel safe. You feel comfortable. You feel sad.
Another day.
Another day.
Another day in Locke Manor.
Yep. What are you going to do? How are you going to start your day? How are you? You're there in the morning. You don't have anywhere to be.
No.
What are you
Guess
gonna
I
do?
roll out of bed, stretch a little bit, and I walk over to the window.
As your
and-
footsteps make slight noises and little pattings as you make your way to the window, you hear a knock at your door. Master
in.
Rin.
Come in.
And opening the door, stretching in some light from the hallway, you see your butler, Mr. Pimbleton, walking in. He said, "Good morning, Master Rin."
Good morning,
How
Mr.
did you sleep?
Pimbleton. I slept, and Ren just kind of looks out on the what he sees out the window.
Okay, so what you see out the window, you see, I imagine your room faces the front gardens
Sure.
of your home, and you know the back is opens out onto a big forest. But as you look out, you see a path that walks up to the front door. You see statues and fountains, and a big like hedgerow that marks the end of your gardens. You see like a guard tower that is attached to like a small wall. You see one in each of the 2 front corners that maintain the security perimeter for your manor. You see some staff walking around, some people in like light armor, and so yeah, you see staff about. And roll me a quick perception check, just like a natural roll.
19.
All right. As you look out over an eagle topiary, you see a tan, like it's a little tanned triangle, and you just notice it. You're like, huh, that's weird.
Yeah, weird.
That's it. That's all it was. Yeah. It's like, oh, something new in the monotony. That's what it is.
Weird. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Okay, so Mr. Pimbleton's like, what can I get you for breakfast today, Master Rin? Or would you prefer a bath? Would you like me to bathe you?
No. I don't need you to bathe
Just kidding.
me. I
Yeah.
appreciate it, Mr. Pimbleton.
Yeah, of course.
how
Of course,
about-
Master Rin?
Just the usual, I guess. Cup of coffee, maybe a croissant. I'll get changed and I'll meet you in the kitchen.
Okay. Sounds good, Mr. Rin.
Thank
And
you.
he as you look out the window and as he's been having this conversation with you, he's laid out your clothes. You don't even know where your dresser is or where your clothes are stored, but he's laid them out for you on your bed.
Perfect. Mr. Pimbleton, have you spoken to Father today?
He appears to be away from the estate today.
As usual. Okay. I appreciate it.
Of course, sir. And then he leaves. He bows low. He's like, anything else?
No.
I will see you downstairs then.
Yeah, thank you.
And he shuts the door and he walks out.
Ren just kind of sweeps his feet on the floor and goes over and gets dressed and takes one last look at the front yard before he kind of closes his curtains completely and goes to the kitchen.
All right. So, are you going to the kitchen or are you going to like the dining area?
The dining area.
Okay. So Mr. Pimbleton knew he was like, well, why would you go to the kitchen?
Yeah,
Like,
my bad.
you wouldn't go to the kitchen. You probably, who knows if you could even find the kitchen.
No.
You probably haven't been there.
No, never.
Honest to God. It's like a staff place. That's where
Yeah.
the staff is. So you reach the dining room, and the table there is like inlaid with gold. It's extremely ornate. It's got like it's very carved and intricate. And it seats like 50 people. It's massive.
Mm.
Yeah, very long in this long dining room area, with lots of chairs, all of which are like tightly pushed into it, except one that's not at the head of the table. It's about 3 or 4 seats down on one side, but this is your seat.
Mm.
Yeah, this has always been your seat. Whenever there's entertaining, you don't necessarily you're close to where your dad, who sits at the head of the table, and your mom, who sits at his left hand side. But you're a couple seats down from them.
Yeah.
The closer seats are at their gatherings they use as like a political kind of buttering. The closer they sit to them, the more people sit to them, the more willing they are to. They feel favorited.
Okay.
So, unfortunately, that means you're close, but you get shafted down a little bit.
Right.
So, this is your seat, and you take your seat. Massive chandelier above the table, artwork scattered all over the walls, massive mirrors from about, windows from about 10 feet up to like 20 feet up. They're like 10-foot windows. And then there's beautiful like half wall adornments on the wall, and there's a big hearth place, a fireplace at the end that sits behind where your father would sit.
Okay.
So your normal, you mentioned a coffee and croissant.
Yeah.
But what's brought to you is a full breakfast. There is a coffee and croissant, but these are just sides to what you get.
Yeah.
And this is your usual. There's eggs, there's bacon, there's sausages, there's pancakes, there's like grits, sausage gravy. It's a full thing. It's a full breakfast.
Yeah.
And this is probably boring.
Classic
for you.
Mr. Pimbleton.
Yeah.
Ren just sits down and kind of overlooks all of it, and maybe sips his coffee. It's probably a little too warm for him, so he sets it back down and lets out a big groan and begin to lightly peck at the food, not really enjoying any of it.
Little pieces.
Yep.
Mr. Pimbleton.
Pimbleton.
Mr. Pimbleton steps he's just like over your shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
just standing there.
Yeah.
He's just waiting to see if you need anything. Just drowning in monotony for you.
Yeah. Ren stands up and kind of adjusts his shirt and is like, I think I'm gonna go to the study, Mr. Pimbleton. I'll find you if I need anything. I'll ring the bell or something. But I think I just need some time to breathe.
Yeah. Just keeps you up. Yeah. So he says, "Very well, Master Ren."
Ren picks up the coffee cup
And the
and
croissant.
takes the croissant and walks to the study.
And then the second, like, you're like crossing the threshold of the door into the dining room and back out into like your big grand entryway, you see Mr. Pimbleton, like he had stayed there as you exited in his position, and then he quickly grabs everything off the table and sweeps it off into the kitchen, out of sight as you make your way to your study/library here in your manor.
Nice. Efficient, as he should be.
Mark of a good butler.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So you come out into the grand entryway and you see your big staircase that ascends to a balcony. That balcony is lined with doors. Just above you, you're in another, like, it's got like a 25-foot ceiling in here, or like 30-foot, whatever accommodates 2 stories.
Yeah, damn.
And so you walk up the stairs, and you're familiar with your study. You spend a lot of time there because you enjoy the company of books, because it's some of the only company that you have here. And you enter the study, and you are greeted with a familiar smell that is the only place in here that makes you feel like you're home.
Ren closes the door behind him and locks it.
You Rendouin Locke it?
I Rendouin Locke that door.
You know, a lot of people ask me, hey, Garmalaxion, master of the arcane, what is the hardest part about being the most badass and handsome wizard in all the 9 realms? Well, I'll level with you. It's the legs. I spend all this time and all my components casting wicked, sick spells at some fools, and their stupid little legs hop right out of the way of my lightning or some shit, and it really tussles my toadstools, you know? But luckily for you, if you're a sick magic slinging hunk like me, I've found the answer for our conundrums. I've ordered some lovely prints from oakenthornartistry.com and adorned my walls and all of my lair with some of the most breathtaking prints of hand-painted work from one of the most renowned artists in all the land. And now these silly scrubs are so busy gawking at this luxurious, high-quality, one-of-a-kind finished pieces of quality art, they don't even notice when I slither my little body behind them and blast them into the worm dimension. Now, you may be thinking, but I don't need any art for my walls. And I say, you fool! Not only does oakenthornartistry.com have wonderful framed canvases or poster-style prints, they also have high-quality enamel mugs for you to sip your devious potions from. Exquisite. So, if you're a US-based trickster looking to stop adventurers in their tracks with some amazing-looking art on your boring, dinky walls, or maybe a mug to get for that special sorcerer down at the local tavern, wink wonk, then click the link in the description and discover magic in art at Oakenthorn Artistry. That's all.
Fantastic. Yeah, just like bolting it shut.
Yeah. And he just lets out a sigh of relief and looks over all the shelves, and I would assume his father has like a desk here.
Yeah, there's definitely a desk. There's places to study. And
yeah, he definitely goes over to like his father's desk and like sits at it.
Yeah.
And just kind of thinks for a minute about, he's just like, man, I gotta get out of here. I can't do this anymore. I don't even feel like I belong here. I mean, the only person here to even talk to or spend time with isn't even my family. He's like a hired hand. I mean, I don't fit in here. Maybe I won't fit in out there either, but at least it's worth a shot. And I just
big feelings here with Rendouin.
I just start kind of pouring through the desk and see if there's any kind of like clues as to where my father's like business trips are leading him, like where he keeps going all this time.
Yeah. Okay. So you find like a ledger of the places that he's attended, the meetings that he's been to, the people he's met with. And, you know, it kind of shows all over the place. You know, you get little remarks of reasons why, like he's been setting up new warehouses. He's been employing hiring new trade systems to fill in gaps in his network. And so he's just been out there handling it and, you know, trying to find more people that he can trust to help build the wealth that you guys have already accumulated. He's met with political figures, attended parties, everything to, you know this of your dad. Everything to him is something of a game.
Yeah.
He approaches every situation and every interaction with an air of pursuing the win.
Means to an end.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes it very hard to be his child, to constantly feel like no matter what, whether you need him, whether you need his advice, whether you just want to be near him, it's always a contest for him, even with you.
Damn.
Yeah. He's hungry for success.
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels like, you know somewhere he loves you, and you know that he's you're set up, you'll always be taken care of.
Right.
But not in the way of familial connection.
Yeah.
It's you're kind of at a point in your life where you're coming to terms with that.
Damn. Shit.
So you're seeing where he is, where he's going. You know that early this morning, he set out with your estate's travel employees, whoever you guys employ to get him to go from one place to another.
Right.
They set out with a destination of one of it's a coastal city, and it's a bigger city here in this realm, where he travels to pretty often because he's got lots of business there and lots of connections with the leadership and the infrastructure.
Okay.
And you know that it's very rare that you're invited on these things.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I stay at the manor where I belong. Ren just kind of, he puts the ledger back and tries to make it look like he wasn't, ever at the desk. He doesn't want his father to know. Yeah. And he starts looking through the books on the shelves for anything interesting. He's probably read these books like a bunch of times. But
yeah, most of these books are like among the like mahogany colored shelves are like recounts of business successes and success in battle, and they're like coaching books on like the art of the win, so to speak. And so all of this stuff is you're very familiar with. You somewhere inside you know that if you employed the same things that you would be successful, but you have grown over the years to be detestful of this kind of behavior.
Yeah.
And though you don't necessarily lack self-confidence, you don't have a supreme confidence in like familial worth. And
right.
But like this kind of behavior is not something you really agree with.
No. I feel like it's very selfish overall. I feel like I know that he's made a lot of success and that I'm very thankful for it, but it's put a lot of people out to do so. And I feel like if you can, you should be helping people and not constantly out for yourself and focusing on more important things.
Yeah.
But
so as you sit here in your revelries and trying to come to terms with these feelings, roll a d20.
Ooh. The second roll. A 16 this time, my lord.
A 16. All right, great. So what that means is that you have to roll a d4.
A d4?
Yep.
Okay. A 2.
All right, so roll another d4.
Okay, another d4.
Another d4.
That's another 2.
All right, fantastic.
Double 2s.
So as you are standing, looking at the books in the study of your manor, you hear a gong. It's kind of dissonant, but this is your doorbell, so to speak. and you hear the somehow in this room, in this massive manor, you hear the hurried footsteps, the shuffling of Mr. Pimbleton as he scurries across the main entryway toward the door, and it opens, and you feel curious because you don't get a lot of visitors here.
Yeah. I definitely go see what's going on.
All right, so you walk out the door and you're standing on the balcony looking down into the entryway, and he opens the door and you see a very short little gnome, and you've read about gnomes, but you've never seen one. So I don't know, maybe you've seen gnomes. Maybe they've probably come to your parties.
Maybe.
Yeah, you've probably seen a gnome. So this is a rock
gnome
gnome.
or two.
And this little rock gnome stands there, and Mr. Pimbleton goes, "How may I help you?" And the little gnome goes, "Yes, I'm looking for a Rendouin Locke." And Mr. Pimbleton goes, "Oh, what is this regarding?" And the gnome says, "I have a message to deliver."
I start going down to the door.
Okay, and Mr. Pimbleton goes to shut the door, and he says, "I'm very sorry, but the manor is under orders for no visitors
Mr.
while the master is away."
Mr. Pimbleton! Like yelling from the hallway.
And then he shuts the door on the visitor, and he turns to you, and he says, "Yes, Master Wren."
Oh, open the door. Come on, I heard that. It's for me. I don't ever get anything around here. Open the damn door, Mr. Pimbleton.
"Master Wren, I assure you I would if I could, but I am under orders that no visitors are allowed at the manor while your father is away."
I shove him out of the way.
Shove Mr. Pimbleton?
I don't shove him like to the ground or anything, but I put some shoulder into it, and I get him out of the way, and I open the door. I say, "I'm sick of you and my father trying to dictate what I can do."
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, Mr. Pimbleton, but he's not even here. He's not even here.
Well, that is why I have those orders, Master Wren.
But what's the point of keeping me locked in here to do nothing?
You could go into the grounds.
I open the door.
Okay, so you open the door, and as you open it and stand in the threshold, you see 4 people walking back down the path, and the one that was at the door speaking to Mr. Pimbleton is like, "Well, what am I supposed to do now? I don't know, how am I supposed to do this if I can't? I don't know what I'm supposed to do." And one of the people that he's traveling with is like, "Well, we'll just have to try again, and we'll keep trying, but we have to get this done. That's what you have to do." And he was like, "Well, how am I supposed to do it if I can't even get in? Why would they send me here?"
Rendouin comes running down the path. Like, he's probably barefoot too, because he just spends all his time in the house.
Okay.
So he just comes running down the path towards the guys walking away, and he's like, "Wait, please, wait."
And they
please
all
stop.
turn around.
"It's me. I'm Rendouin Locke. That's me. I'm sorry. My butler has some real issues."
As you approach, and them not knowing who you are, you see one of them who is this half elf, slightly taller, slightly older than you are, pull a dagger and like hold it at arm's length, in between you and their group.
Rendouin throws his arms up.
And this person says, "You're Rendouin Locke."
"Yes, that's me. I heard from the balcony you said you had a message. My father is supposedly keeping me on lockdown for what seems like eternity, but whatever it is that you have for me, I would very much like to hear it.
She eyes you up and down and gives you this like real skeptical look and like really kind of like taking stock of you.
Is she hot?
Yeah, she's attractive. I mean, yeah, she's a half elf. She's tall. She's built. She carries a bow on her back. She's got flowing robes of like a forest green, with gold accents. She's got some like padded armor here and there, but it's not like a full set or anything. And she just like, she gives you kind of a distasteful look.
Yeah, Rendouin is avoiding eye contact like it's poison.
She has taken stock of you and she's not impressed.
Yeah.
So she lowers her dagger and puts it away. And she says, very well. And she steps behind the gnome that was at the door. And he comes up. He's like, I have something for you.
Ren puts his arms down.
Yep, it is safe.
What is it?
He reaches into his bag and he pulls out a thick parchment paper letter and hands it to you. You see it's got your name on it and a wax seal. One that you're familiar with from some of your books that you've read. And he says, this is an invitation to attend armor class in the fall.
What, like armor class?
Yes.
That exists?
Yes. Yeah, it's very well known. Yeah, it's pretty renowned.
I thought, I mean, I've only seen it in books. I didn't know that was
yeah,
real.
it's real, and you are invited to attend.
How did you guys find me?
I cannot give you those details. That's part of my assignment.
Oh. I'm sorry. This is very sudden.
Yes, I have been instructed to deliver this letter to you in return with your answer.
Rendouin takes the letter and looks back at his manor.
You now have an invitation to Armor Class School of Martial and Magical Arts.
Ooh. He opens it.
Okay, so you open it, you read it, and it says, Dear Rendouin Locke, we are pleased to formally invite you to attend Armor Class School of Martial and Magical Arts. Find enclosed all the details necessary, when to arrive, and everything we'll need. We look forward to seeing you at the start of term.
Oh.
So are you coming or not?
Yes?
Very well. I will see you there. Goodbye.
Goodbye?
And they turn and they start walking away, but the half-elf continues to look at you and just like kind of sneers. Like, like, and then as she's walking away, she's like, the state of who they're bringing in.
God.
What is
anyone
this?
These days.
They'll accept anyone these days.
I'm
It's
rich.
Pussy. Just kidding.
I have money.
Yes, because being rich is a superpower.
I have the money. No, Ren just kind of looks, just kind of shell shocked, and he looks back at his giant manor, and wow. I guess I'm getting the hell out of here. What the hell am I gonna tell my mom, or my dad, or that fucking butler? And he starts walking back to the manor. He tucks the letter into a pocket. You know, he kind of tries to hide it a little bit as he's walking back to the door. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Colin Payne, though you may know me better as Ren here on Armor Class. I've interrupted this fine broadcast to pose to you a question. What is the sweetest sound in the world? Close your eyes and really try to imagine it. Maybe it's the breeze on the ocean, or a beautiful symphony. Perhaps even the voice of someone you hold very close to your heart. Touching, isn't it? It is. But it's wrong. Incorrect. Whatever you just thought of, it's not it, Chief. But don't you worry, my dear viewer, because I am here to tell you exactly what the sweetest sound in the world actually is. And that sound, my friends, is Uncommon Nonsense, the new comedy podcast hosted by yours truly, with conversations so soothingly chill and bits so blisteringly hot, it'll have you entranced by the quality banter between a charismatic host and energetic, interesting guest while it burns your feeble flesh down to the bone. The funny bone. So if you like the sounds you're hearing and you're sick of podcasts taking themselves too seriously, then Uncommon Nonsense with Colin Payne is the show for you. Trust me, I don't take anything too seriously. Not even this. The entire time I've been recording this ad, I've been playing a janky recreation of Flappy Bird. You guys remember that? The iPhone game? Taken off the App Store? Anyway, get your funky junk over to youtube.com/uncommoncolyt and subscribe. Or give us a listen on Spotify by searching Uncommon Nonsense with Colin Payne. Or clicking the link in the description. We upload new episodes every other Thursday, so we'll catch you then. Now back to Not This Ad.
So as you walk back up the stairs leading up to your front door, Mr. Pimbleton is there with a frantic, somewhat a little panicked, a little frustrated look on his face. He's like, "Master Wren, that was incredibly risky. Imagine, what would your father say if he knew you were gallivanting around the garden with flagrants like that?"
I don't know, but it would probably be some fucking bullshit about needing to run the company and having bigger, important dreams than whatever the hell I want to do, Mr. Pimbleton. But
Your father has worked very hard to build a life for you.
yeah, and so what? I mean, he's worked extremely hard to build a life that he's not in. He's not here. You can say that he did whatever the hell you want to, and I just enforce it, but he's not here. Do you understand what that does to me, Mr. Pimbleton? All I have is you, and that's not as bad as it could be, but it's not the same, and I need to find where I really belong, and it's not here, Mr. Pimbleton. I'm sorry.
Mic drop.
You're not my dad, Mr. Pimbleton. He's gone.
He gives you this very short,
Sorry.
terse look, right? And he says, "All the same, Master Wren, we should go back inside."
I'm sorry. We should.
So
Ren goes inside.
yeah, so and this he works for your family, but he loves you.
Yeah, oh
this
yeah.
man loves you.
This is the closest thing I have to a father figure.
Yeah. So, all right, so you go back inside, and he shuts the door behind you, and he kind of just goes off. He's a little frustrated with the situation as well. Not only does he love you, and you guys just got into an argument, but he's just trying to do his job as well. He has to follow the orders.
Right.
And so he kind of leaves you to your devices for now. So what are you going to do?
God damn it. Do I know if my mother is here?
She usually travels with your dad.
So they're both gone.
Mm-hmm.
And if I go to armor class, I have to leave now.
You don't have to leave now. You can leave now. It is also a bit of a ways away from where you're at.
I go to my room
Okay.
and I begin to do something I've never done before.
You fapping?
No. I'm frustratedly jerking off. No. I go to my room and
Okay.
I get my own clothes.
Okay. You search your room for where your clothes are stored?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gather my own things
Yep.
into a bag
Okay.
and I leave it nicely kind of situated on my bed.
Yeah.
And then I go back down. I want to go to where the majority of my father actually does business when he's here.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what I
He's
mean?
in he's got an office.
Yeah,
It's
his
pretty close to
office.
the study.
I want to go to his office.
Okay. As you walk into his office, you haven't been here a lot, but you're in this familiar place. Sometimes you come here when he's away to try to feel close to him or imagine what it's like to be someone who makes the choices that he does.
Yeah.
Just to try to understand him a little more.
I look around. Does he have any pictures of me? Anything?
There's not really pictures in here. There's a lot of like trinkets and 16 doctorates. He's got memorabilia of his financial and success, like conquests, like remembrances of deals and little like things that were included in big business deals as like a token of appreciation for the contract.
Okay. I have a question.
Yeah.
As the DM, will I need to keep this letter like with me when I go to armor class? Do I need to present it? Like
No.
Okay.
No, not necessarily. No, it doesn't say anything about needing the invitation to attend.
And you were telling me that all he has framed in his fucking office are accolades.
Not even just framed as like trophies and little pieces.
Does he have like framed? I would assume he has at least one framed deed to something.
Sure, yeah. There's a couple pictures, but it's all like him shaking hands with like influential people and like solidifying deals.
So Ren goes to the main hall of the manor where I'm sure I've seen it a million times. There's the big painting of us three.
Yes.
That we got done.
Of course. Naturally.
It's gigantic. And I take it down. And I take it back to my father's office.
Okay.
I close the door and I lock it behind me. I Rendouin Locke it behind me.
All right. So you have locked the picture of your family into your father's office.
Yes.
Okay.
I then take the picture.
Oh, you're in there with you
Yes.
and it's locked. Okay.
Yeah.
You take the picture.
And I rip it. I rip my face out of the picture.
Okay.
And I put it in the framed, like, in his office, like, on one of the framed pictures of him shaking. I just slap it on there, and I, like, mush it into the frame so it's, like, stuck on there.
Yeah.
And then I take my letter, my acceptance letter.
Yeah.
And I put it next to the picture on his desk.
Okay.
And I leave them on his desk. And I take the painting back. I put it back in its frame. And I take it and I put it back on the wall.
Okay.
And I go and I get my stuff. And I sling my backpack over my shoulder. And I say, Mr. Pimbleton.
And you hear scurry. And are you meeting him in like in the entryway?
Yeah.
Okay. So you hear scurry come back from like the kitchen area, the staff area, and he says, he looks at you and he's kind of confused. He's kind of like concerned. He sees your backpack.
Yeah.
He's like, yes, Master Rin.
I wanted to tell you before I leave that no matter how angry I am at my real parents for basically abandoning me in a gigantic wooden prison of a manor, you've done your best and you were always there as much as you could be. And I do love you and I will be back. And this isn't goodbye forever, Mr. Pimbleton. And I'm sorry for what I said, but just know that I have to find my own path. And when I do, I will come back. And I give him a real big hug, which is very rare. Rendouin does not touch people like ever. So I give him like a huge hug.
He hugs you back. He's very hesitant in this situation because he has no idea what he's going to do or what he's going to say. And he knows that there's going to be hell to pay for this, but he says, I have always wanted you to be happy, Master Rin.
I know.
And he just says, be safe. And he turns and walks away.
I will.
He's not going to watch you leave. He's to protect himself and anything. He's going to pretend this conversation never happened.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Completely intended.
So you are alone in your entryway.
I turn and gaze at my manor one last time. And I just think about, what if I never come back? You know? What if
you never
this
do?
is really it? And I close the door and I go back to the forest, towards the forest, towards the garden. And I just want to, because that's where I spend a lot of my time. I want to do one final round around the grounds to really soak it all in before
you head back out to the road.
Yeah.
Okay. So you see the woods that you're familiar with. You spent a lot of time in the woods with your mom when she's not traveling with your dad.
Right.
And she's taught you things about the trees and the plants and the wildlife. And it's some of the only like hands-on knowledge. You do have a decent relationship with your mom, but she prioritizes the ventures of your father as his wife. So but when they're home, the memories you have of spending time with your family is mostly with her.
Right.
And so you do spend time in the woods, and she teaches you about her childhood and in the ways of the wood elves. And you reminisce on these moments before making your way back around the manor to the front garden.
Okay.
All right. Do you have any thoughts you want to add in this sentimental moment?
Rendouin's just thinking, he knows that his parents will probably be upset. But especially his mom will probably be upset more so than his dad. But he just hopes that they understand his decision. And he continues to make his way.
All right. So as you make your way back around to the front of the manor and you walk down the main path, you have to be a little sneaky because you don't want the guards to see you.
Right. Yeah.
But you're familiar enough with the grounds that you can easily like dive into the blind spots and make your way around so that no other staff sees you.
Right.
But as you make it through and you are rounding the corner in the shadow of the wall, you are dodging behind topiaries and hedgerows. Mm-hmm. And you stop for a moment as you hear somebody walking like on top of the wall above you. You don't want to make noise.
Right.
And you look at the road in front of you and you're like, I don't even know where to go.
Yeah,
I don't even know what to do now.
I've never been this far out of the manor.
Yeah, the only thing is the only thing you know is that you just have to get away. You can't get caught.
Yeah.
You just have to get away from here. But you're like, I don't even know what's next. So you keep going, and then as you reach the corner of the wall, you make it around the last eagle-shaped topiary. You move around it, and you trip on a tent that was set up in the corner of your property.
What the hell?
And you hit the ground.
What the hell? I gets up and dust myself off.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is this?
In the tent, as the tent falls in, you hear a voice
popping out of the tent with a throwing axe up. Oh, hey, what's up, man? That was rough. Big fall.
Yeah, I hurt.
You good?
No. Yeah.
It's like a handout to help
This
you up.
tent smells horrible.
Oh, what do you mean?
He takes her hand and gets up.
Okay.
Dusting myself off, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing out here?
Oh, I saw this majestic eagle bush, and I thought, man, that's a powerful bush. And I thought it'd be a good spot to make camp.
You know you're on my property, right?
No, I'm on the other side of the little wall thing that you got going.
Well, I'm pretty sure we own like this whole area.
Oh.
But I mean,
wait, you own it?
Yeah, we bought it.
Where's your tent? I don't see it.
That we we don't have a tent. The whole thing is our house. It's a manor.
That
Locke
big weird
Manor.
rock?
You've never heard of the Locks before?
A lock. Oh, yeah, you put those on things that you don't want people to take.
Remember, you've probably never seen a person that looks like this.
No, yeah, I'm bewildered by you, but what the hell?
You're so thin. Are you okay?
What? Yeah, I'm fine.
Oh, okay.
What? You're so weirdly jacked and also scary looking.
Thank
What are you?
Oh, you're cool. Thanks.
What are you?
Half work.
Oh,
Living half work life.
a half orc. I didn't know those existed.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I read about them, but that was just another one of those things, you know? Yeah, it's surprising.
Does Ren just think he's been reading fantasy this whole time?
Yeah. Ren thinks that these are like
He's
long,
been reading
yeah.
nonfiction, but he thinks he's been reading fantasy this whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually like only half grown, so I'm on half orc.
Oh.
I'll be a full orc sometime soon.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that's how it worked.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
sweet.
cool.
I'm
Okay.
gonna
Yeah,
fill out.
I'm gonna fill out soon. Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm leaving. This
Oh.
place sucks.
Oh.
I just want to warn you, it's not fun. If I were you, I would leave too. But I'm going to go learn how to be an adventurer. I'm gonna go make something of myself.
Pulling out a tiny little book and a little tiny piece of paper from inside the book. You see some like pressed flowers kind of shift around. He's like, "Oh, don't look at those." You mean this kind of crumpled up piece of paper? You're going to the party too?
The part you mean?
You see the wax seal on the paper.
Yeah.
It's kind of crumpled up, like it has like
Right.
a little bite mark on it. Like maybe he tried to
He
eat
thought
it.
it was
Thought
a
it was
cookie.
candy. I don't. It's not a. It's not. I don't think it's a party. It's a school.
No, they told me. They came and they invited me.
Yeah, they did that to me too.
Yeah. It seemed pretty cool. So you're going to the party too?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm going.
Sweet.
Do you know how to get there?
I kind of know the direction.
Well, that's more than I got. So let's go quickly before these guards figure out that I'm not in there anymore.
Oh. All right. Cool. Bash starts packing up all of his stuff, and he's like, "Okay, cool."
So what's your name?
Oh, Bash.
Oh, I'm Ren.
Just Bash.
Just Bash, huh? You don't have a last name?
No, those are for wimps.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm Ren.
Ren never mentions his last name again.
My name is Ren.
Ren.
Nice to meet you.
Dope. Nice to meet you.
Knuckle bump.
Got to.
All right, and with that, our little buddy pair make their way out into the forest and on their way to Armor Class School of Martial and Magical Arts.
We're on a journey to discover what we're made of in a world that we don't know. Humble beginnings to the grandest of adventures to show. The future is calling our names, and we will cross that horizon into brighter days. We will stand in the face of defeat, so we can rise up above the mistakes that we've made, to believe in the good that we see. As the world keeps on turning and the winds of change blow, we'll rely on the friends that we've made. As new evils arise, we will defend our homes from the perils that stand in our way.
Ladies and gentlemen, that once again brings us to the end of another episode of Armor Class. We hope you enjoyed listening to it as much as we enjoyed making it. With the completion of Ren's episode, that does bring us to an end of our introduction 4-episode series, and next week, we'll get to dive into these characters a little bit deeper as they travel from their hometowns to the city of Terranka, home of Armor Class School of Martial and Magical Arts. Don't forget to set your calendars to Thursdays at noon when we release the new episodes of the podcast subscribe, and follow because you will not want to miss these episodes full of zany antics and wild adventure. And remember, if you're loving Armor Class and need that next episode right now, it is available on our Patreon, where we release the next episode 7 days early. Check out our link tree for all of our social media and leave us a review. Thank you so much for tuning in to Armor Class, and with that being said, I have nothing left for you. Don't forget to do your homework and stay out of detention. See you next week.